Present. Thank you.
Super fantastic.
Welcome to the show. We'll also be joined by Sammy Bartels via Zoom. Of course, let's check our Zoom. Is he in there yet? I don't know.
Sammy's cool.
Yeah, is it what?
Sammy's cool. Solid guy.
Oh, yeah. Sammy. I asked him to come. He said, no, he's chopping salad.
Yeah.
Somebody who did not fast.
But you people, the salad, is it for only those who fasted? Sure. Is it not for friends and giving and opening up to? You know, where is your own?
This is a small salad.
Every day.
It's a small salad.
Every day.
Every salad we have is small salad.
But you said this at the last one.
We never see the big one. Hey, Charlie.
The big one will come.
Yo.
So this one, what do you do? You still give arms, don't you?
Yes, we do cats. Zakat. So this is actually the month where you give the biggest arms. Actually.
Okay.
So we don't eat, we give it out.
Okay.
No, you need to celebrate.
Small.
You need to celebrate. Yeah. But you know, it's this is the month of like reflection. So you need to show some modesty. You need.
So you've done your reflections.
Yeah. No opulence.
So you've done your reflections, yeah.
Yeah. The night before the Eid, or I think 2 days before.
So that would be
Eid.
Thursday.
Yeah, you're supposed to give what you call zakat. You learned your RME, right?
Yeah.
Which is one of the 5 pillars of
Islam.
Yeah,
True.
zakat. So you need to give alms, and it's a certain percentage of your annual earnings, and you can give it out in financial terms.
Because you're not anything.
So what percentage?
If this was not radio, I was going to
Wait.
The annual earnings, is it from like your main job?
Every earning
or
is
every
calculated.
earning that you
Yeah,
earn?
every earning. You're
So you
supposed
just
to
got
do
it,
the
right?
calculation.
So this year.
I'll give you an example.
want
So
the-
the problem is that,
Uh-huh.
well, not a problem. The challenge with modern day zakat giving
Can't keep track.
is keeping track of, because back in the day, if you're a farmer,
Yeah, farmer,
you're a
yeah.
maize
You have
farmer, or a
livestock.
livestock farmer,
Yeah, it was
you
easier.
can count how many
It was easier.
livestock you added to your
That's
livestock you have. You can count maybe how many bags of maize you made from your farm.
True,
You give a percentage, so you do the calculation, you give a percentage of that out. But now with all the galamsey that people are doing,
Sometimes when the thing come now, then you transfer it somewhere.
so
that way you
I
add down
think,
the- do
yeah.
the-
So I think some people find different ways. So somebody will just say, okay, let me see like my savings. So like, how much do I have in savings? Let me give a percentage of that out. Like
Okay.
it solves the complication, or you know what I mean. So you have
But
to
your
find.
zakat, something didn't come to us.
Is there,
Your
no, I'm supposed
zakat-
to give it out to needy people.
Why? I tell you,
I thought it's already, I don't need.
Needy is relative.
Yeah, exactly. So
you
I
can't look
determine
at my
it. Thank you
face.
very much.
No. We do. We do.
The point is this.
Uh-huh.
The point is this. I can't give everyone, and I'm not supposed to give people I know.
Oh, okay.
That's not how
okay.
it works.
Okay.
Like, as in, like, I'm not supposed to give my friends.
Yeah, your inner
But
circle. or your-
if I know somebody else that I have determined to be more need than you,
Yeah.
I should give them. Right? So you're not only supposed to give family.
So when do we get the
members.
meat? Nekrakra said, when do we get the meat?
This is not
You go
the
talk to
meat
the next
one.
one.
I said it. You are not
So
keeping track.
wait, when I was coming, some Okada guy was carrying like 3 chickens at the back. So this is the chicken salad.
Thank you very much, Daniel Kratz. You
the
are
cow-
you are the one paying
cow
attention.
salad.
Yes.
So the cow salad be the one we
It's
will
the
come.
big salad.
When is that one?
That one doesn't come with the fasting.
No.
Oh, so the one with the fasting is the.
That one is more like the celebration of the Islamic New Year.
Yeah.
Sort of. The Eid al-Adha.
When is that
That's
one?
Ada.
It's 2 months, 2 moons and 10 days from today.
2 moons as in 2 months.
Yes.
Okay.
And today.
Yeah.
So
The
that should
cycle of
be,
the
The guy, you check the calendar.
Oh yeah, I for check.
Actually, check the calendar.
you should pray that when he catch here, when he catch there, then there's a day to do game plan for him to come and confront me.
It doesn't matter when.
I will know your house.
That did. Why? It doesn't matter.
Wherever you day, we go find you.
I just checked the Google calendar. This year's one would likely be on the 27th of May.
What day is that?
27th of May. I don't know. Check which day of the year that is.
I'll probably be on leave by that time. I will find you.
So,
27th of May.
27th May.
Wednesday.
Charlie, my calendar even has that day checked
That's fine.
as Idol Ada, tentative. Now confirmed. Nice one.
Very interesting.
anyway, so Sami Bartels is on. Let's talk to let's talk to Sami.
I
I love the name.
Yes. Eradi Nyankopon. Hey guys. All right, Sami, can you hear me? How are you? Where is Sami? All right.
Doesn't show an audio. I don't think he joined with audio.
No, Sami is there. The problem is with these people over here. So I'm telling you that. Anyway, guys, we've got a lot to get into. Let me just lay the background for it. Now we know that CAF made on Tuesday night. CAF made a very dramatic decision to strip Senegal, the CAF Appeals Board, of their AFCON title. They also reduced several fines that were initially handed to Morocco for the skirmishes that played out during the AFCON final. And so obviously that kind of decision is being unprecedented, especially at this level. So lots of people have been reacting. Obviously, the first coming from Senegal, who have said that they're heading to the Court of Arbitration for Sport to appeal. There's been lots of reaction from several ex-players, both from within and from without the continent of Africa. From Patrice Evra to Thierry Henry to George Weah to Samuel Eto'o Fields, Didier Drogba, all of them have gone in the same direction, where they have said that the only place where the winner of an AFCON title should be determined should be on the pitch, and that they don't support this particular decision. Now, they've been lawyers who have also been reacting to this. Raymond Hack is an arbiter at the Court of Arbitration for Sport. He used to be chairman of the CAF Disciplinary Committee. He's still chairman of the South African League's Disciplinary Committee. He spoke on this, and he says he believes that when Senegal head to the Court of Arbitration for Sport, they will win the case because the appeals committee misinterpreted and misapplied the regulations that they quoted or that they stood on to disqualify and strip Senegal of the title.
They based their decision on Article 82, which said that if the team goes off the field of play without the authority of the referee, Article 84 comes into play. But they didn't read Article 84 too well, because Article 84 says the team which contravenes the provisions of Article 82 and Article 83 will be eliminated from the competition. It doesn't say the provisions of Article 82 or 83. It says Article 82 and 83, and that's where they award the 3-0 score. Senegal did not in any way do anything wrong as far as Article 83 is concerned. But the point that they are all missing is the referee's decision in terms of Article 6 of the CAF Disciplinary Code is final. So when is final? If you look in terms of the IFAB rules, whether it be 5.2, which talks about the referee, the game is finished when the referee blows the whistle for it being finished.
All right, so you had Raymond Hack there. He's basically saying that the appeals committee misapplied the rules. He's not the only one who has made this claim. Kwesi Nyantakyi obviously is also a lawyer, used to be CAF vice president. He agrees with Raymond Hack, and he said that the rules were misapplied.
To qualify or to apply Article 82, you must identify certain factual circumstances. One, was it a match In this case, yes, there was a match. 2, was there an abrupt end of the match? In this case, there was no abrupt end of the match because the match traveled its full length and ended successfully under the orders of the referee. If the match had ended abruptly, then the next question would have been, who caused the abrupt end of the match? The team whose players, officials, or supporters are held responsible for the abrupt end of the match will be sanctioned accordingly. And then the next ingredient that you need to establish is that did the referee record these things in his report? In these modern times when matches are even shown on television, the referee's report cannot contradict what actually transpired on the field of play. And so I do not expect this referee to record anywhere that this match did not end successfully, because we all saw the match and we all saw that it ended in regular time under the instructional authority of the referee. So Article 82 and Article 84 do not, with due respect, apply to the circumstances of this case.
All right, so that's Kwesi Nyantakyi there as well. And Sami, I believe we can hear Sami now. Sami, how you doing? Welcome to the show.
Hi, friends. I promised you I would not be sitting in the car, but
you did, and yet here we are. And yet,
hi guys.
Here we are.
Before I speak, can I hear the bird cry one more time? You know, it's morale.
Oh, Charlie!
Oh, God. Sami, what did you do? Oh, man. All right, before you...
What did CAF do? That's the question. What did CAF do?
Fair question. Now, CAF have been responding. That's one thing they did. They've been responding to their criticisms of their own decision. The CAF president, Patrice Motsepe, he said that the decision reflects the independence of the judicial bodies of CAF. This is what he said.
The independence is reflected by the decisions that were taken by the two bodies. The CAF disciplinary board took one decision. The CAF appeals board took a totally different position. And I'm told that Senegal is going to appeal, which is very important. Every one of the 54 nations in Africa have a right to pursue their appeals and their advance interests, not only at the highest level in Africa, in CAF, but also the highest body, which is the CAS. And we will adhere and respect the decision that's taken at the highest level. A critical factor is that not a single country in Africa will be treated in a manner that is more preferential or more advantageous or more favorable than any other country on the African continent.
Very interesting thoughts. That's Patrice Motsepe reacting to all of the backlash that CAF has received since this decision came into being. Sami, I think it's time to come to you. Sami Bartels, obviously, it's a sports journalist, it's a lawyer, so he's perfect to comment on this matter. Sami, before you even coming, I asked my question. The guys have seen something curious in your video that they would like to point out, and it's all Sicho's fault.
Sicho, what have you done?
My brother, congratulations on your new car. It's your rubber car.
Spanking new car.
It's your rubber car.
They said your car, no, it's literally tear rubber. You haven't finished tearing the rubber.
You're not finished. Bro, no, man, congratulations on it.
Listen, Sami, I mean, we are here now, obviously. Yeah. I don't think anybody expected that this would happen, but it's happened. What have you made of the whole situation? The thinking of the appeals committee, the thinking of the disciplinary committee in the first decision, what options or what Senegal would do at this point, Morocco's case at this point. It's a very murky situation. Make sense of it for us.
Well, look, thanks for the opportunity to speak on this. So much has been said that, it's hard to top what has been said. But I also have to say that there has been a lot of emotion. Most of the cry has been for context to be taken. And from a lot of what people have said, a fraction of time, in excess of 2 months for them makes a lot of difference. Because this decision is unprecedented. So all I've done is to just sit back and look at it again at the decision and look at the provisions based on this decision. Now, before I tell you, and what I'll do is I'll tell you what the case for Morocco is and why the appeals board took the decision it did, and what the case for Senegal is and what likely arguments will come up with. But before then, let me just mention that one of the biggest challenges when it comes to decisions in law is the issue of interpretation. And if the version of the CAF regulations for the 2025 Nations Cup I'm reading is correct, I think CAF could have done a slightly better job within the drafting of the regulations, especially the 82, 83, 84, and 85. The reason I say this is that sometimes when you draft, you have to anticipate what we call use cases or scenarios that may arise and try to deal with it. That gives whoever a judge or a committee person who is reviewing this decision an easier job to do. Now, let me explain why. And I hope you guys have your regulations in front of you.
We do.
The Article 82, and correct me if I'm reading the wrong version, says that if for any reason whatsoever a team withdraws from the competition or does not report for a match or refuses to play or leaves the ground before the regular end of the match without authorization of the referee, it shall be considered loser and shall be eliminated for good from the current competition. The same shall apply for the teams previously disqualified by decision of CAF. Per your reading, am I reading the right version?
That's it, yes.
Now, I've heard a lot, but I just want to highlight some things for consideration. I am concluding that the applicable portions that the disciplinary board used was refuses to play, right?
Correct.
Which will suggest that if a team says, I won't play anymore, whether they leave the pitch or not, this catches them. If you are going strictly by this, by refusing to play. The alternative is that they leave the ground before the regular end of the match. Now, thanks to my brother, Michael Akwadomvo, who I sat with this afternoon, I have read the French version as well. It was important for me that we look at both the English writing and the French version because in this continent, there are Francophones and the Anglophones. Just to be sure that somebody is not reading the English version and applying it and another reading the French version. Mm-hmm. Now, the French version says, instead of ground, it says le terrain. Le terrain is the pitch. And the first question I asked was, whichever CAF lawyer drafted this, why didn't they just say pitch? Because if you say ground, from an English perspective, it can mean many things. If we say Manchester's ground, or grounds, it could be the stadium, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct.
So why don't you just say pitch, which makes it easier for everybody that when they leave the pitch, that's what you are talking about. Again, as a preliminary matter, I'm just highlighting the potential ambiguities in how the 82 was crafted. The French says le terrain, and as I understand le terrain, it means the pitch.
The terrain, exactly, the pitch, yes.
But this version I'm reading says, which is the English version says, leaves the ground. CAF would have helped themselves very much if they had said, leaves the pitch. Okay,
or just to help you, Sammy, the regulations have used the phrase field of play. So
that's what's in there.
Yeah, no, I'm saying that those regulations, instead of pitch, they've referred to it as field of play. And they refer to the and they use field of play 16 times in these regulations, except in the one time where it would bring clarity, that's when they fail to use it.
Precisely, and that's my gripe. Why didn't you just say field of play or pitch? But then in interpreting, based on the French, the conclusion could be that because they use le terrain, maybe the English is referring also to the pitch. So I just again want to highlight that. And then it says before the regular end of the match. Again, I wish these expressions had been defined in the regulation. What is your understanding of the regular end of the match? Is that 90 minutes, 120 minutes, or after penalty shootout? Or when the referee whistles and says the match has ended? Then it says that it shall be considered loser. My understanding is that what the board has said is that it has confirmed, because the shall, in the French, it says the expression used in the French is certainly or most definitely, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's definitive ma. That's the expression used in the French, which means most certainly. So it leaves very little wiggle room for use of discretion. And so you could say that on the basis of that, the board said that they shall be considered as a loser. And that has been fulfilled. Now here's the interesting thing. Guys, go back to your regulation. And it says, and shall be eliminated for good from the current competition. Now, if you were punishing Senegal to the letter, because this is conjunctive and says, and shall, not just declare them losers at 3-0, but they shall be eliminated for good. My question is, what does it mean to be eliminated for good? There are some explanations in 80, 87, 88, 89 relating to the stages. So remember when Togo were eliminated from the 2010 Nations Cup, it became a 3-team tournament between Ghana, Cote d'Ivoire, and Burkina Faso, right?
Yes.
So if this was at the group stage, it's easier to say, because you walked off, not only are you declared loser, but you are completely out of the competition. And if this was at any other stage in the competition, that's what would have been said. But when you use the expression eliminated for good, again, I wish, for anybody, you have to say what you mean and mean what you say. When you use the idiom eliminated for good, what do you mean? Does that mean that perhaps the board, apart from just declaring Senegal to be 3-0 losers, should have gone further to say, well, Senegal, you are eliminated from the competition for good, so you are not even silver medalists. Nigeria and the other ones will be promoted. Are you getting the drift of my argument?
I am. That's an interesting one.
Because you remember what happened during the World Cup qualifiers when, due to some withdrawals, or what was considered in effect withdrawals, the tables had to be rationalized and points rationalized, and that is what got Nigeria into the playoffs in the first place. Again, I get in the drift of what I'm saying.
Absolutely, I'm following.
Now, 84 then says the team that contravenes the provisions of 82 and 83 shall be eliminated for good from the competition. I'll come to this, the first part in just a bit. But in the Article 90, it says if a finalist team refuses to play the final, it shall be replaced by the team it eliminated in the semi-final. The other losing semi-finalist shall be declared third of the competition. Now, by just an understanding of this, and
I think Sami is frozen. Somebody is calling his phone, I'm sure. That's why I said you should stay at home.
Guys,
no. Yes, Sami, you are back.
Does that mean being eliminated from good means being erased for good? In which case, the other teams behind you would have to be promoted? Or did this law anticipate that this would have happened before the complete?
Okay, nipa no fresh. I mean, one jaisa. You see, one jaisa. Sami to is stubborn.
So, look, okay. So before I leave the issue of the interpretations and the drafting,
yes,
let me just mention one more thing, and that's what Raymond Hack was saying, that the 82 and 83 are supposed to be read conjunctively, because the 84 says the team which contravenes the provisions of Articles 82 and 83 shall be eliminated for good from the competition. Now, I heard what he said, because what he's saying is that you must not just have fulfilled 82, which is the walking off, etc., but 83. And 83 applies to when you don't show up at all or you show up late.
Yes.
So his argument is that you have to look at both. Do they fulfill 82 and 83? And if they do, then you can apply 84. But then, much as I agree with him, and I think Senegal can use this as a defense to say, look, it's conjunctive, not disjunctive. And so you have to read these together. The opposing side would then say, realistically, although it says conjunctively, those two scenarios cannot exist together. You cannot be the team that didn't show up or showed up late and still be the team that played the match and walked off. I get in my
absolutely.
Okay, so this is just to highlight the ambiguities within the very nature of how the regulations are drafted, and I think CAF technical and legal team could have done a better job, because there are ways of expressing these things to ensure that there's certainty that this is what it means and it doesn't give double meaning.
Before you go on to your next point, just one more clarity on the interpretation and the and the way the language is couched, which goes back to Kwesi Nyantachi's point. He says that the refuses to play in itself has to have been read to mean when you don't come back to continue the game. Because once you come back and continue the game, you then did not refuse to play because you came and finished the game. Is that admissible?
No. So he has a point, and that's obviously a point that I would raise when I speak about the Senegal case, because there's no clear definition of the continuum of activities or actions that end in the refusal. Where does the refusal start and end? Again, this is what I mean by a more elegant approach to the drafting would have explained this. To say is the refusal to play, which is one side, but then the point at which you go off the pitch, the later on, whether it is going off without returning or going off but returning.
Yes.
2 steps go over the touchline, but then you come back. What does that mean? Does that mean you have fulfilled that requirement or not? Again, it's not, but then it will fall on whoever is sitting as a judge to look through this and then interpret it based on all the circumstances. So I'm going to pause here and get a better network, and I'll come back to you guys and explain to you what the case will be for Morocco was for Morocco probably.
Sammy, your network is better. It is better now. Everything is perfect.
And then also the case for Morocco. So please just give me a few minutes.
Okay, everything is perfect, but we can give you a few minutes. I guess Sammy wants to reposition himself. So he will come back. He's making a very, very interesting argument about language. And, Sicho, you were agreeing a lot with what he was saying, and you've except the latter, you've been on the timeline a lot this week on this matter, and you can just pick up on your own argument because some of your arguments feed into some of the things that Sammy said.
It's not some.
It's not all of it.
Yeah.
So just continue for me. What you make of this situation? Why you believe in the way you do?
First and foremost, no team can go unpunished or go without the harsh punishment for bringing the game into disrepute in the manner in which Senegal did. Yeah. You can't walk off the pitch because you don't agree with the referee's decision and expect that you walk out of the stadium with the ultimate prize for the fixture. Mm-hmm. It doesn't make any sense to me to begin with. Now, the rules are clear that when those things are done, and Sami went through those rules very clearly. I'm not going to waste some of our time to go through that. But the point is simple, that when a team refuses to play, as Senegal did refuse to play, they shall. It's not a discretion of the referee at that point. It's a command, if you like. They shall lose the game. They shall forfeit the game. It's not May. If it is May, you are looking at a lot of context in that situation. But they shall. So it is certain that they are going to, lose the game. So my point is there are a lot of emotions, and I have a feeling that there are many around the continent that do not like Morocco already. So many people are already calling them whatever. But in all of this process, it is Morocco that has covered itself in glory. They didn't walk off the pitch. They didn't bring the game into disrepute. They followed the necessary protocols and have appealed and they've won. And my point is, when Senegal refused to play, and people say not all the Senegalese players left the pitch, blah, blah, blah. In fact, at some point, all of them left the pitch. Let's not forget, Mane also left the pitch.
To go and call his teammate.
He left the pitch. For what he left to go and do, we know he went to call, but he left the pitch. So there was a point where we didn't have Senegalese footballers on the pitch to even compete. And our point is, even if there are 2 players on the pitch and the rest were in the dressing room, it's not enough. So once that happened and they refused to play, then they have put themselves in this big mess. And for me, this is an issue that we need to met out the strongest punishment possible, so that the next time when the Black Stars feel that the referee made a wrong decision against them, the Black Stars won't leave the pitch for 5 minutes and come back and come and finish the game and win the game and tell the referee that at least we came back. That is not the matter. Coming back is not the matter. The biggest matter and the most important matter is the fact that you left the pitch. And I'm happy Sami has brought this up. We didn't know that in French, it didn't use ground. It used pitch. So the guy in Morocco, They speak French.
Correct.
They would have been reading the regulations in French.
That's true.
And Morocco would have been arguing their case in French. If they are arguing their case in French, then Senegal didn't only refuse to play, they actually left the pitch. So two things in that 82 has caught them. So first, the handcuff was only on one hand. Right now, the handcuff on both hands. So right now they are like this. First they were like this.
You mean first they handcuffed them one hand to a table.
One hand to a table. So they could move the other hand and talk.
Yes.
Like
But now, no, bring the other.
But right now they are like this. They can't even speak.
You are very silly boy.
Based on the French interpretation. It is no, they are like this. And you see, friends, we also have to be careful. Once the appeals committee has ruled, as soon as they ruled, Senegal should have been getting ready to return the trophy. Because as soon as the appeal committee rules, before any protest or whatsoever, it is binding. So as we speak, Morocco are champions.
No, you have 24 hours to appeal. So in that 24-hour period, hold on, yes, I get your point.
Yeah.
But I'm also pointing out that that's why the law allows
24 hours of appeal.
Yes, and during that 24-hour period, there is no immediate enforcement once you can appeal. So once you file the appeal and you request for a stay, then they can't simply.
No, until it's heard. But the point. So what I'm saying is,
stay, you can request for a stay immediately.
No. They've not done that, have they?
They've sent the appeal and everything.
But Morocco are champions. As we speak, are Morocco AFCON champions 2025, 2026.
Senegal says. We have listen to this. We have appealed, and that decision to declare Morocco champions must be stayed until.
But CAF has to accept
that appeal.
The stay of execution before.
But
wait.
Merely applying for a stay of execution in itself is not an enforcement.
So right now, before they hear the
trophy must go back. No, it's a fact.
It has to be one of the reliefs you are seeking before.
I get you now.
And especially. If in that appeal, before you go on, if in that appeal, if in that appeal to CAS, Senegal does not specifically request for a stay of that execution.
I've seen the Senegalese reports.
There is a stay.
Yes.
Okay.
They've
but that has to be heard and granted by CAS before.
So as it stands, Morocco.
The appeals committee, the appeals committee's ruling are always binding. They are, in fact, they are in CAF. Senegal can't do anything else in CAF.
No.
That is why they have to go to CAS.
Yes.
So, and here is the case. I've also heard people talk about, the referee decision is final. The referee decision, if the referee finishes, it's not true. It is not true.
Yeah. So that argument is that the referee is the one who should have declared the forfeiture, and once he didn't do it, and Senegal came back, and the referee made his own decision to continue the game until the final whistle. Once the game finished, and the referee indicated that Senegal are champions, that no other judicial body should be able to overturn that decision. That's the argument you're talking about, right?
Yeah, it's not true.
Okay.
Because the referee might have, and in cases where the referee wrongly applied the law, it can be challenged. In instances where the referee wrongly applied the law, it can be challenged.
With regard to a final result?
Yes.
Do you have an example?
With regards to an instance in the game that the referee misapplied the law. So you can challenge it, and when you challenge it, decision rests with appeals or CAS or whoever. But the fact that the referee made a mistake by applying a wrong application of the law doesn't mean that post the game you can't challenge it. So all Morocco did was, yes, referee, you've closed the game, no problem. But we feel that he didn't apply the Article 82 because they refused to play, and per the French interpretation, which is so nice, they left
la terrain.
They left la terrain. So what Morocco, you see, and
if you leave la terrain, it's for feature.
It's for feature. 1-0, no, it's not 1-0. That's the game. The referee shouldn't even have continued the game, and the referee did. So the referee misapplied the law, misapplied the rule, and that is why they've gone to us. And I'm saying,
but I'm also saying to you, Sicho, that it's not every instance where when the referee misapplies the law.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's called misjudgment.
Yeah.
So he misapplied the law.
Yeah.
Where the result has been reversed. That's why I ask you if you have an example, because I asked that question on the presumption or the assumption that referees make all kinds of errors all the time, and every error a referee makes, it's tantamount to a misapplication of the law. That's why it's an error.
So it can
it's
be protested.
Yeah, it can be. But I'm saying that, do you have any instance in the past where a misapplication of the law, fair enough, has resulted in a reversal of the result?
Because we've not had any instance anywhere in the world that in a final a team walked out of the pitch, refused to play, came back and won the trophy. It hasn't happened before. So this case, there's no.
But you said there's multiple instances where the law has been misapplied.
Oh yeah, like red cards.
No. This specific one, Morocco did it in 76.
No, they didn't. It wasn't the same.
No,
they came back.
Even the 76 one, they said it was fake news. There's no evidence unless you have it. You have it because somebody interviewed a player who was involved. I saw the story this morning. Somebody spoke to a player who was involved in the game.
It's not social media.
It's not
social
media.
So you have the evidence to it.
I'm saying that if you have
when you ask for evidence of what nature? That was I in the stadium that day?
No, you have a story that
said that.
That's all.
Do you have?
Because there's a player from the game.
Okay.
Moroccan.
Guinean, actually.
Okay.
It's on Tanu. Tanu. He did it. The story is on his wall. You can check it out. The player said no such thing.
They were giddy, but nobody they were protesting, but nobody saying nobody.
I saw it this morning.
That story is. So I'm saying it.
You were there.
I saw it. I wasn't there. But how would I? Which case? Because there's no case like that.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
Was there a case then? What was the case?
Did that?
He said
no. 17. Oh, guy. Sit your hold on. To what was written in those regulations. Now you say when you come back, you're going to argue the cases of both teams. You have the floor.
Yeah. And, from everything we've heard, it seems the sentiments have been about severity and harshness and strict interpretation of the regulations as opposed to exercise of discretion or what people will call a modern purposive approach. So let's look at the key issues here, because as we all agree, and again, we take the emotions out and we say it as it is. For Sicho and people who support the decision of the board, there are a few things that, are very solid grounds for this. Because remember, we said you refuse to play or you leave the ground without authorization. It means that, definitely when a football match is going on, to leave the ground, you need authorization, right? That's why a player gets injured and all of that. The referee would allow him to go off or come. So the expression leaves the ground without authorization, certainly what it does is that it functions as a strict liability trigger for forfeiture. It means that once you leave the ground without authorization of the referee in this context or refuse to play, that is triggered the moment you left. Now, this obviously acts as a breach of the regulations. The regulation does not define a minimum duration for the absence. So the people calculating the time and all of that doesn't come up. The legal breach is the act of leaving the pitch itself whilst the match is live, or what they describe as before the regular end of the match, without the explicit permission of the official in charge, which is the authorization sought. Now, the referee's authority matters because he's the sole arbiter of what constitutes authorization, or the only person who can say whether you were authorized to leave or not. If the referee obviously does not formally sanction your departure from the pitch, in this case collectively, or different people from the team leaving, the threshold for the breach is met immediately upon the team's exit from the field of play, whether some were going to call others or not, because it was without authorization. That breach is immediately triggered. Now, the other argument that has been made is, but they returned after 17 minutes. On the applicability of this argument, the regulations do not provide an undue or a curative action, an action on the pitch at that very moment that cures the offense or the breach for which the team becomes liable because they walked off. For a team that returns to the pitch after the unauthorized walk-off, it's quite clear that the unauthorized walk-off is the offense and it triggers the forfeiture. Again, the drafters, in their own wisdom, decided not to put anything there. So it will appear then that there is a level of irreversibility because he uses the term shall. In the French, it says definitivement. I think that's the expression, definitivement, which means certainly, most definitely, right? And in the English, we use shall. And the legal status of the loser in this is triggered by that initial act, which means that legally the match effectively ends for the team in breach at the moment of the unauthorized departure, regardless of whether they returned or they didn't. Again, this is the argument to support the decision that has been made. And the question then is, was the return a mitigation? And again, from a strict perspective, Senegal's return to the field does not become a legal mitigation under the current regulation, which may explain the appeal board's harsh stance. The other question is, could they have exercised discretion? Well, the 84 mandates are the team contravening the provisions under 82 shall, the applicable one, in this case, the walking off or refusal to play, will lose this match by 3-0. And so if it's applied like that, the board will have very little discretion or room to lower the penalty simply because the regulations prescribe a specific non-negotiable outcome for the match. And they don't provide a mitigation for the fact that you return after 1 minute, 2 minutes, or 17 minutes. But then the other thing is that when you look at it, it's a mandatory requirement. And so whether you say it's harsh, the question is whether it was lawful based on a reading of that for the board to have concluded. And this obviously is what supports the Moroccans' case. So while a return to the field might be seen as a sporting mitigation, sporting integrity of the match in some jurisdictions, we are going to base this mostly on what CAF's regulations prioritize. And it seems that the regulations were done as a deterrence to prevent you from even doing it, for you to know that this is the consequence. So don't even think about doing it at all. And under Article 91, we see that only a force majeure can provide a legal excuse for such an interruption or a voluntary walk-off, even if it's a temporary one. The interesting question would have been if there was a racial abuse of any of the Senegalese players, would that have constituted enough grounds? Would that have been the force majeure? It's an interesting analysis to have, for instance, that if they felt somebody had been racially abused, could they have walked off, and would that have amounted to a forfeiture? So in summary,
there are different protocols for instances like racial abuse as well. Yeah.
So in summary, the appeals board likely just view the 17-minute walk-off as a complete violation of Article 82. And once it was triggered, and there's confirmation that it was, for them, Articles 84 and 85 left them with almost no legal discretion or alternative other than just declaring that it's a 3-0 forfeiture. Then comes the other question, which is, but how about the eliminating from the tournament? Should they have gone further to then say that Senegal is eliminated? And what does that mean in practice? Because this is not knockout level. This is the final match.
Okay, Sammy, can you just pause for me and give me clarification on this? Because it's doing my head in. You mentioned the thing about the forfeiture and all the regulations around it, which, as you explained, is what perhaps the appeals board was trying to implement. Now, that being said, if you look at the CAF disciplinary code, CAF's own disciplinary code, and I'm reading sections 1, 2, and 3. In fact, there are just 3 sections of that disciplinary code, Article 6, the referee. It says, 1, during matches, disciplinary decisions are taken by the referee. An indication of forfeiture or the implementation of forfeiture is considered a disciplinary decision, correct?
Yes.
Good. So now the CAF disciplinary code says that during matches, disciplinary decisions are taken by the referee. That's 1. 2, these decisions are final. And then 3, the jurisdiction of the judicial bodies may apply if Article 11 is breached. Now, Article 11 of the disciplinary code says that sanctioning infringements which may or may not have escaped the match official's attention. In this instance, the case of forfeiture, the walk-off, didn't escape the referee's attention, did it? He knew what happened. He was aware.
So typically, disciplinary actions by the referee would not bring the match to an end, true or false?
Sorry?
I said the disciplinary actions envisaged in what you are reading do not bring the match to an end, do they?
And that's why I started by asking if the declaration of forfeiture can be considered a disciplinary action.
It can be, but when you are analyzing this, you have to treat forfeiture as a unique proposition. It's a very unique set of action in the sense that a forfeiture ends your participation not just in the game but in the tournament.
And that decision obviously is not fully taken by the referee. He can only take a decision based on that particular game, but the further actions and all those things may apply. That goes beyond the referee.
Vince, can I weigh in here, ask him something? Can I weigh in here, ask him something?
If further actions can be taken, the situation of forfeiture and the actions that can be taken around forfeiture do not end with the referee.
All right, let's move on. Yes.
Okay, so now
on this one. On this one, it will help the matter. Oh, I beg.
Let's talk about the alternative scenario, because we've established that upon a strict application, this is where it falls. And people like Sicho will then rejoice to say, it is what it is, the law is what it is. The coach should have known before he took that step. I'm not sure he would have read this, because this was supposed to be a deterrent. Again, in defending this, inevitably the referee supremacy argument will come up. And that's what you just raised, Fentuo. That once a match has started, it is the exclusive prerogative of the referee. And in the regulations, that's under Article 2310, to decide on its suspension or total stopping. So Senegal may argue that it was the referee's prerogative under the circumstances to have stopped it. And if he decided not to stop it, you cannot undermine the supremacy of the referee and his interpretation of the situation under the circumstances. Of course, this is subject to the proffering of other evidence, including the speculation around whether he asked his boss whether he could stop and the boss refused. Now, obviously, Senegal can also contend that by allowing the players to return and blowing the final whistle only after 120 minutes and proceeding with everything else that followed, the referee cured the temporary walk-off. That legally a match that reaches its regular end. Again, this is where the interpretation of the regular end comes. That a regular end as per the final whistle cannot be retroactively declared a forfeit. Because it says, before the match reaches its regular end. What is the regular end? If the regular end includes the referee blowing a whistle to say there's a forfeiture, that regular end never happened. The referee actually normalized everything. And so they would argue that that means you cannot retroactively declare a forfeit under 82, which specifically targets the team leaving before the regular end and not returning. So again, they could stretch that to say that in their view, the regulation anticipated a team walking off and not returning. Just like a team withdrawing means the team is withdrawing and is not going to reverse its decision to withdraw. Again, it looks quite obvious that Senegal may likely challenge the appeals board's interpretation of the penalty triggers. And this is where the Raymond Hack argument comes in on the disjunctive error, which we have previously analyzed. You say Article 84 cites 82 and 83, and that the legislative intent of the and requires a cumulative breach of both conditions in 82 and 83. And for them, if those two were not met and only one was met under 82, it is not enough for you to trigger the maximum penalty for elimination. And again, there's the issue of the lack of definition for refusal, assuming they are applying the refusal leg of it to say they refuse to play. The regulations do not define how long a delay must last to constitute a refusal to play, right? And Senegal may probably argue that a 17-minute protest followed by a full resumption does not meet that threshold for refusal, which typically may imply permanently cease the activity. You have refused. You are no longer interested in participating. Then let me throw in the issue of proportionality, which means not killing an ant with a sledgehammer. And this is on the basis of where the case is going, which is CAS. And we've seen that from the cases that have gone to CAF, to CAS and their jurisprudence, they have over 10 certain things which are deemed to be disproportionately harsh. Now, the decision made by the appeals board, is it disproportionately harsh? Because a creative solution was found by the disciplinary committee with the fines relative to the offense. Now, Senegal may argue that stripping a championship and eliminating the team for good, which has not been done, but which, in my humble opinion, should have been part of the package, because it says declared loser and then eliminated for good. But they would argue that this action, this step, this punishment for a temporary delay where no violence occurred, no external interference occurred, for them would be an abuse of the discretion of the board. And they can point to other instances to say a fine would have sufficed for this matter. Then there's the issue of the force majeure, remember, which I spoke about in Article 91, which reserves that if it's a force majeure, it may justify this walk out. Were they threatened? Did they feel their safety was probably at stake, for which reason they walked off? Again, when you check Article 2311 of the same regulation, it requires the match commissioner to try to reconcile the point of view if it is for a protest reason. Now, if the commissioner fails to properly mediate, can Senegal say that the match commissioner either did not try or failed to properly mediate the standoff on the pitch, which meant that they went off the pitch, that they could have prevented the walk-off if they had properly mediated what was going on the pitch before the referee resumed play. So, in essence, what they will say is that there's a procedural failure by CAF's own officials, which is where the issue of the communication between the referee and the man with the oversight responsibility for the referees comes in, if it emerges as new evidence in this matter. Because then that would be a failure of CAF's own procedure and CAF's own officials and their communication and decision taking. And you cannot fault Senegal for that, if that was the reason for which the decision on the pitch by the referee to say forfeiture has occurred did not happen. And the last of all is the issue of the sporting integrity, which is a core tenet of what the CAF has done and has shown. Again, the finality of the field doctrine will come in because Senegal will argue that CAF's retrospective scoreline of 3-0 violates the principle of sporting integrity by overriding the results on the pitch, because very often these adjudicatory bodies would want to restore what happens on the pitch and ensure that the result of any sporting discipline is always decided on the pitch. So Senegal probably cited the fact that the Moroccans accepted the resumption of play, thereby also waiving their rights, and that the integrity of the sporting result, which is not in doubt, should be restored. And yes, they may accept that they are liable, but say that there are other punishments that can be enforced within the case. So that will be my analysis of the cases of the two sides, the strict interpretation, the discretionary interpretation. But remember that CAF is not CAF. It's not a CAF body. So in considering, they may look generally at the integrity of sports across the world, the message itself and other things may come into play, other than just stricto sensu, or strictly speaking, what was on paper, on which basis this happened. And remember that the CAS case may not happen now. It may happen in 6 months' time. Only God knows what other changes may have happened. I heard Raymond Hack say that it's a process and it takes a while for all of this to happen. So we are not expecting any changes now. But for both sides, these are the key points of argument that will come up as far as the next stage of the case is concerned.
Brilliant, Sammy. Thank you. Brilliant. Guys, calm down. You people want to kill Sammy with questions. All right, Sammy, Sichos has a question and Achu has one too. So Sicho, you go first.
My question is on what you just read about the referee. You did reference Article 11, yes?
For me?
Yes.
You're talking about me?
Yes.
Yeah, that's from the CAF disciplinary code,
yes,
Article 6.
Yes.
Which gives the judicial bodies permission to interfere with the referee's final decision.
What did you read?
Under some conditions.
Yes. And
you want the conditions again?
Yes, please. Just
okay.
I want to ask Sammy something on the conditions. I just want the wording so that, because I'm talking to a lawyer, I don't want flop.
All right. No problem.
Sammy's
cool. Just give me a second to pull out the disciplinary code.
Because it will be very important for the conversation. I just want to ask so that when who?
Where's that? Oh. Okay. All right. So scrolling down to the CAF disciplinary code, Article 6 is what talks about the referees.
Okay.
Just so that we are all clear on what that says. So Article 6 of the CAF disciplinary code says that during matches, disciplinary decisions are taken by the referee.
And we agreed forfeiture is a disciplinary decision.
Yes, but Sami said that we need to also understand that it's a very unique situation.
Okay.
And it says 2, these decisions are final.
Yeah.
And it says 3, the jurisdiction of the judicial bodies.
Yeah.
In other words, their ability to change any of those decisions may apply if the conditions of Article 11 are met. These are the conditions of Article 11. If sanctioning infringements, the disciplinary board is or can interfere with the referee's final decision if to sanction infringements which may or may not have escaped the match officials' attention.
Okay.
That's one.
Yes.
Two, they can sanction all offenses which occur prior to, during, or after a fixture. For example, rectifying obvious errors in disciplinary decisions based on referees' reports. Based on referees' report. So that based on the referee admitting that this was an error I missed. Good. Three, extending the duration of a suspension incurred automatically by an expulsion. So that's a red card situation.
I need just the 1 and 2. And I mean, you hear the 1 or 2, right? It's also saying that if the referee, one was actually saying that if the referee missed, or read the one again.
May or may not have
sanctioning infringements which may or may not have escaped.
Which may or may not have escaped. For instance, if Senegal indeed walked off, if Senegal indeed in the French contest left the pitch, and the referee saw all of that, but missed it.
But didn't apply the law.
Missed it and didn't apply the law. We are talking about the finality of the referee's decision.
Yeah.
But there's a caveat here that gives the disciplinary bodies.
Even decision that did not escape his attention can still be looked at.
Even decision that didn't escape his attention can still be looked at. So when we say the referee blew the whistle and was final and everything, the same law that gave the referee that power gave a caveat that the disciplinary bodies can revisit these same matters if the referee indeed.
So,
Sammy, yes, please.
What you want to apply from the 11 is the part
I can't hear Sammy.
Rectifying. Sorry, can you hear me?
No, go ahead. Yes.
Yeah. So I said. So the part Sicho is obviously very interested in is in the part that says rectifying obvious errors. Are we reading from the same page?
Yes.
In disciplinary decision based on the referee's report, because obviously in making these decisions they would have read the referee's report, match commissioner's report. So Sicho, is that what you are referring to? The ability of the disciplinary board after the match to rectify obvious errors in disciplinary decisions based on the referee's report?
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Yes.
So that's obviously they can't rectify what they address as obvious errors.
So if the referee in his reports didn't account for Senegal walking off and returning to continue and went on to use the game, then it was an obvious error they can use. That's my case.
So what's your question?
Yeah, my question is, where do you draw the line?
Go back to what the regulations say, because that would be the determinant
of
whether obvious error was made.
Achu, you can ask your question.
Where do you draw the line between what the regulations describe as obvious errors and changing the outcome of the game? Because in this case, the regular end of the game as prescribed was observed. We all saw it on TV. Is that a circumstance or an event that passes for what the regulations would describe as an obvious error, or a situation that allows them to change the outcome of the game? And specifically, is there any part of the regulation that allows and gives the organizing committee supports or the tournament organizers the power to change the outcome of the game in the manner that we have seen?
First, we have to distinguish between the disciplinary code and then the regulations. Remember, the regulations is tournament specific. So actually, you may have two tournaments with different regulations, even if they are organized by the same body. The disciplinary code is the code that applies across all situations. So any decision would have to be a reading of both. Okay, so this is generally what the disciplinary code says, but then and they would apply it when the disciplinary committee is reviewing a matter based on this. But then whatever decision will be done in conjunction with what the rules, which is the regulations for the specific tournament, says. You all know that when it comes to this issue of overturning the decisions of a match, we know it's not an absolute position, right? I was telling someone how in the 90s and early 2000s, Hasukoko was very famous for having a dossier on every team. And if you know, sometimes if the league position wasn't going too well, they will point out where you use an ineligible player and you go and lose the protest and lose 3 points and some goals, right? We all know those things happen. So again, because forfeiture is a very unique situation that says you are no longer, that the outcome is that you are declared a loser. the outcome of a determination of forfeiture effectively changes the outcome of the game. Because if you are declared a loser, whether you win or not, doesn't matter. Unless, of course, you were behind at the point at which the forfeiture was declared, in which case the result is maintained as is. So yes, the outcome of a match is automatically turned around, or may be turned around depending on whether or not a determination of forfeiture.
I'm saying that where the regular end of the game has been observed, this one we saw the game end, whether there was a temporary disruption, walk off, whatever, the regular end of the game was observed. Is there any part of both the disciplinary code and the tournament's regulations that empowers the tournament's organizers or any of the disciplinary
or judicial bodies
to then decide that even though the regular outcome of the game, conclusion of the game has been observed, we are still going to overturn the outcome?
But this is the point of dissonance, because it says if you are going to, where the walk-off provision works, says you walk off before the regular end of the game. We are saying, well, what is regular end of the game? In which case, if you deem that the game did not reach its regular end, then it becomes an issue. And if you deem that the match reached its regular end, it goes a different way. So that's really the question.
Is the regular end of a game open to interpretation? To my knowledge, that is when the referee blows the whistle for the game to end. Or
yes, but you see, I can come in here if I may. I think that the part that allows them, which is what you're trying very hard to get, like what allows them to be able to overturn the result. Yes, and Sami is saying that this whole idea of regular end of the match is up for debate, because at the time Senegal walked off, the game hadn't ended. The referee may have come back to end it, but at the time they walked off, the game hadn't ended. So at that point, the referee's decision to allow them to come back and complete the game can be deemed as an error, and the regulations allow the judicial bodies to rectify refereeing errors. That's it.
Precisely. And again, remember the regular end there is a reference point for the infringing action when it took place, whether it took place before. So if after final whistle you walked off, we won't say you've walked off before the regular end of the game. It would be after. So it's a reference for determining the action that took place. The waiver is a completely different argument, where we are saying if it was a forfeiture, the referee should have whistled. They shouldn't have allowed the game to go on, and then retrospectively we call it a forfeiture. But it should have whistled.
Very well. Sami,
the waiver. Right.
Yes, you've been brilliant. Thank you. But do stay with us. I'm sure the guys would have some questions for you every now and then. But what I want to do is... Later on.
Sami be later on guy. No, Sami later on guy.
Later on. What I want to... so Daniel and Achu, they still haven't given their thoughts on the matter. But before they do it, I want to take a quick break and go to Aqua Safari. Guys, the Joy Safari is on there. Anita is joined us on the phone. I don't know why she's not. So she's enjoying while the rest of us are not enjoying.
Why did you go and do the show there?
Okay, it's Lexis instead. Daddy K, they say it's Lexis who had decided to take the phone from Anita.
Oh, me, I've seen their life.
You've seen their lives.
Every day I'm in the studio with them. When they were going to
going for the safari, they left you behind. Lexis, allegation against you. How are you, my brother?
You see, Manchester United fans are busy doing other things. You know, we the fans of the best team in the world. You understand?
Can you mention the name of your team? Can you mention the name of your team?
Listen, the Club World Cup winners. You understand? We are taking a break into the safari to go and re-strategize.
That's right.
After a very horrendous couple of weeks.
Tell them.
And boy, oh boy, we are coming back with renewed energy.
Tell them. With our professor coach.
Thank you. Reservoir.
Rosinho.
That's Daddy K, how he call him. He's a reservoir.
Don't mind that guy. Like this, why are you guys? You must be having a lot of fun, huh?
Listen, we're having so much fun. As we speak, we are en route to Safari Valley Resort in Dewu. Look, we've spent the whole day at Aqua Safari, visit the two main Safari Park islands. And look, our patrons have had an amazing day. we really didn't want to leave. But the fun waiting for us at Safari Valley, you know, that it be bingy.
Wow, amazing. So, I mean, there was I know that there was a lot of there were a lot of activities. Which one did you do?
Yeah.
You, Lexis. Which one did you do?
Oh, I mean, literally, we did everything. I mean, we went on the boat rides to the parks, and you know, the parks. This is the aqua safari, so a lot of animals in this safari are more aquatic friendly animals.
Yeah.
The crocodiles, the lizards, the whatever, the turtles and whatnot. I mean, and especially the kids were fascinated about these animals. We're going to interact with them. We're going to learn about them. We had lunch by the lakeside, and it's amazing. I mean, people are playing some family games here and there. You know, it's been a very fun day.
Charlie, I'm jealous, man.
You know?
I'm jealous. You guys are spending the night.
Teach them
You guys are.
you dance. And I said, no, don't worry. I will teach them how I dance. Because the fancy template is not too good.
Oh, relax. Let's relax. You guys are spending tonight at the Safari Valley, correct?
Absolutely, yes, sir. There's a bonfire set for us tonight.
Wow.
We're having dinner by the canal, by a bonfire. We're going to have a whole feast with palm wine band and some Ghana games and interactions. It's like a whole party tonight.
Charlie, Lexi, I have to take you off the phone. What is all this? What is all this?
I'm sorry.
What is all this? Anyway, guys, so enjoy, have fun, and do take good care of yourselves. And my regards to everybody on that bus trip.
All right, brother. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Lexis Bill joining us from the Joy Safari trip, where they're now on their way to the Safari Valley Resort. We'll go and talk to Michelle as well from Ghana Fest to try and understand what's going on at the mall. But guys, listen, we're back here with Game Plan on 99.7 Joy FM. It's 45 minutes after 2 p.m. Danny K, you get the floor now. After you, then Achu will come in. Your thoughts on this matter?
I just want to start off by saying you've been very unfair to us, Achu and I.
Okay.
Because you allowed the lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
None of us sitting here are lawyers.
Mm-hmm.
You allowed the lawyer, Sammy, to break down the issue in two parts. The first part suited Sichu, and as soon as he finished breaking down the first part, then you allowed Sichu to tap in into what he was saying, and then he fired. When Sammy was now speaking for us, you also allowed Sichu to come and be asking questions and break his thought process. And then he just quickly ran through what Senegal. Then you finished, you checked and you went to Lexis, who has also left me here. Then you've thrown it to me. Danny, have your say.
I'm sorry.
That's not fair.
I'm sorry.
That's not fair.
Okay. Your grievances have been noted.
But I'm simply saying that, look, picking from something Sammy said in the second part, that the referee, by allowing Senegal to come back, it is very difficult to prove that now and if I was Senegal, I think I could argue it as a temporal delay. It's not a refusal to play. There was a temporal delay in the game because they did come back and they did play and the referee allowed them. And Sicho asked the question. In fact, thank God Sicho asked that question. You asked Sammy that question. Whose responsibility is it to discipline on the field? And it's the referee. On the field of play, the referee is the one who's supposed to give out sanctions. And once he didn't do that, that's my case. Once he didn't do that, the very rules that we are also applying, or the very rules by where the football is played by, also states clearly that the results of the game, facts concerning the game, including results, are final. So when the referee makes a decision, deciding for Senegal to come back to play, penalty is taken, regular time is ended, goes to extra time, Senegal score, game is restarted, extra time is ended, and the trophy is handed out. That is final. So you can sanction other things, maybe a red card or what they've done, what the disciplinary committee did. The ball boys fighting, the ball boys entering the pitch to disrupt the goalkeeper. You can sanction all those things. But for the sanction to affect the results, that's where, for me, there's conflict between the rules. Because if anything should have been done, once Senegal refused to play or walked off the pitch, as the French translation clearly shows us, then the game should have been done. That should have been it. But also, the rules also tell us that the game finishes when the final whistle is blown. So once that provision was forfeited or overlooked, then the proper end of the game is extra time. And now the result of the game is binding, is over. So you can now retrospectively change the result after that, per the rules of the game. So that's where I don't agree with the decision. When we came here to discuss it, wanted Senegal banned. In fact, I mentioned that had I got, although
As
I
in
also,
as
in
soon
fact,
as-
Achu made that
right after the
argument.
AFCON.
Yeah, right after the AFCON. Achu made the argument where he said the ref should have ended the game right then, and that would have saved the temperature of the game. I didn't think that if he had ended it, like some small commotion. But I think that was the right thing to have been done at the point. But once it wasn't done, I was looking for very strong sanctions, probably a ban in the next AFCON. Maybe it shouldn't even affect them at the World Cup or something. But that didn't happen. And I think that's basically what has given credence to what we are seeing today. The fact that the disciplinary committee did a very poor job in sanctioning them. And when you look at the sanctions as against the offense that was committed, it really doesn't make any sense. And that's why we are here today. But for CAF to retrospectively change the result, for me, that's where it doesn't sit, because it sets a very dangerous precedent going forward, which I don't think we'll be able to handle if we allow this ruling to pass. So I don't agree with the appeals committee and their ruling, and I'm very sure that if Senegal goes to CAS, they will end up winning the case.
Okay, fair enough. Achu?
Where do we draw the line between the referee's authority? Where do we draw the line between the referee's authority and the power that tournament organizers and regulatory bodies have? If in matters like this, because the whole essence that keeps the game together, despite our varying views, sometimes very strong opposition to the decisions that referees take, is that we have to accept that they interpret the regulations to the best of their ability, that there is room for discretion, that they may make mistakes, and that where they make mistakes or errors, there is a cure for that, not the specific outcomes of the matches. Look, the moment you cross this threshold, you are opening the floodgates. Because if a team concedes a 99th or 119th minutes goal in extra time, that is clearly a mistake of the law, misinterpretation of the regulation. And as a result, they lose the World Cup final or the final of any competition. Why should they then accept that referee's decision if today we can find black and white prints to explain away taking that finality from? Because per the regulation as we know now, the referee is supposed to be the final point of arbiter when it comes to the outcome of the game. Look, this situation there, I said this at the time, that the best thing to have happened was CAF needed to, through the match commissioner, to have told the referee, end the game the moment Senegal walked off, so that you deal with that. CAF had an obligation. The moment they did not do that, they allowed this to become the mess. And even on Morocco, look, Moroccans and North Africans are some of the most competitive folks I have seen on the continent. They will do whatever it takes to win, often within the premise of the law, sometimes if they can get away with it, because that is what being competitive means. You will do whatever it takes to win. And that is why when the referee allowed Senegal to walk back onto the pitch, Morocco decided to continue with the game because they knew there was an opportunity to win. Otherwise, why did they not play the rest of the match under protest? Because if indeed you are against every decision that was taken from that moment, register your protest there and play the rest of the game under protest. That way, everyone knows that this is what you have done. You are against it, but in furtherance of your respect to the referee's authority, even if he is deciding to admit them, you are going to play the game, but you have registered your protest. So you are playing the game under that circumstance. After that, if you go and appeal it, that conversation can be had. But Morocco did not. They decided to be part of and accept the referee's authority and his interpretation of his powers at that time.
At the time, they didn't register a potential injury. That's what you're saying, yeah?
Yes. No, I'm saying that they could have registered.
I mean, they didn't.
No, they didn't.
So,
but they decided to respect and be part of the implementation of the referee's interpretation at that time.
That's right.
That it was within his power to restart the game. And that the regular end of the game will be when he calls it. Morocco observed that. Morocco signed up for that. Why? Because they knew there was a penalty opportunity for them to win. So I get the frustration from their side. However, I am not in favor of deciding that we can allow the game to reach its regular end and then we'll look at some fine print somewhere. And in this case, the way I see it, manufacture some regulations to take the trophy away from one team. Look, these things have happened elsewhere. There has been instances, the only difference is other teams did not go as far as Senegal did. Yeah, but there has been instances where referees have made grave errors that have changed the outcome of Champions League finals, World Cup quarterfinal matches. But the organizing committees, the tournament regulators, did not say that because the referee has made an error, we are going to change the outcome of the game. Liverpool's greatest moment in the history of the Champions League in 2005, the decisive penalty, Andrea Pirlo's spot kick, Jerzy Dudek had both feet off the line. If you want to interpret the regulations by the letter of the law, it would have been within UEFA's rights to say that this is not how you win the penalty.
Because that's
you
an
win a
illegal goal without protests.
This is not how you win
without
it.
appeal.
So they could have looked at that and said that for what has happened, we are annulling the outcome of that game. Replay. But they did not. Because sometimes you will let things go where you can deal with the little jeopardy that happens at this point for the greater good of the game, because ultimately there are things that are more important than just one team's victory or defeat, which is that at all times the final outcome of the game, as observed by everybody, should not be changed unless, of course, we can establish bias, we can establish match manipulation, or a compromised referee, or the actors of the players themselves.
So you say that sanctity,
it has to be, because look, we will disagree seriously when these things happen, and we will explain it
all the time.
However, even in our disagreements, we gradually accept it because this is what we have all signed up for. That whatever happens, whatever the interpretation of the referee is, however bad we think it is, this is the law, and we would live by it.
Okay. Fantastic submission, Sichu.
Achu,
sorry.
Please.
You know why I said
Don't let
Sichu?
somebody who go
You know why? Hold on. It's okay.
Senegal.
You know why I said Sichu?
Senegal.
You know why I said Sichu?
Yes.
Because I'm going to Michelle.
Hey,
Michelle, how you doing?
Hi, friends. I'm okay.
Yeah. Michelle is our Ghana friends by Joy Prime as the Chibota Retail Center. There's a lot of noise in the background. Michelle, you two are chilling. Everybody's chilling today except us. They left us behind.
Definitely, we're having a lot of fun here. Yes, we're chilling here. Well, since morning, we've been here. Coaches have been coming in, buying at discounted price. We've been enjoying some free Indomie as well, and free beer.
It's free food. Well. Wow.
Yeah.
Right,
I had to take voice in the studio, so I'm expecting you guys here after the show because we're going to have a Friday night special session here. So there'll be some artists passing through with some good music. DJs on standby.
Wow.
DJ Bazak is here. Highest paid DJ Robert is also here. And we also are having some free beer also from Youngin Beer.
Wow.
Free beer for everybody.
Amazing.
So as you come and you shop at discounted prices, you're also having some really cool fun and you're networking as well.
It's a perfect.
Definitely.
It's a
on display here.
Yeah, it's a perfect place for people to come and chop the salad.
Definitely.
Ghana First by Joy. We'll be coming. Sicho, myself, Daniel, Achu will all be coming right from here.
I'll be expecting you.
For all our listeners listening to us, the Achimota Retail Center is a wonderful place for you to spend the rest of your day. Michelle, thank you. We'll be seeing you very soon.
See you.
All right, Michelle Ajekum, live from Joy Prime Ghana Fest event happening at the Achimota Retail Center. That's how we end our show tonight, this afternoon. Sicho, why are you smiling?
I've had a very good show. I've had a very fulfilling show.
I choose for slapping you from across. Can you slap him from across?
When Senegal wins the appeal, he'll go and leave.
I've had a very. That'll be serious injustice. It'll be serious injustice.
Thank you, Daniel. Thank you, Achu, and thank you, Sammy Bartels. But more importantly, thank you to all of you for spending your holiday with us. I hope you learned something from this particular one, because I mean, this has been a really eye-opening show.
Friends. Betray you.
Samino try
He betray you.
Samino try you. Because
no, the way he presents the thing, no.
It's the way.
Yeah, you know.
That's how he hit one side. They hit one side.
He make the things you want talk safe.
Yeah, he make. When you see he's be lawyer, we are not be lawyer.
So it's like going against him.
So if he, challenge.
Yeah, the way he punched the holes into the regulations.
Yeah, no try.
And going against him makes some way.
Anyway, guys, I'll sign you all up for law school. Don't worry, eh? I'll sign you all up for law school. Anyway, thank you very much. Big thanks to Betway, our sponsors, for this show. We're back again next Friday with another episode of Game Plan. Until then, of course, my name is Fentio, Tahir Fentio. Do take care of yourself and bye-bye.